Hi, Heather. Happy International Women's Day. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you today to learn more about your journey and career in finance and investments. My first question, can you share the experience that you've had as a woman in leadership, highlighting any unique challenges that you've had to face and that you've overcome?
Sure. I would say the biggest challenge I faced early on in my career was when I worked in corporate banking. I loved what I did. It was very challenging, very rewarding, but the problem was that the hours required were really long. We had lots of mergers and acquisitions going on in our team and the clients that we were dealing with, and it required really long hours. There were days that I would leave before my kids woke up and I would get home after they went to bed. And I found that was really difficult because it was on a sustained basis. So eventually I thought, I've got to do something about this. I considered quitting. And then I checked and I found out that I could actually apply for a leave of absence. So I approached my boss and explained the situation. And I was very fortunate because he said, yes, you can take a leave. And so I took a leave and I was able to spend a bit of time with my kids. And then when I came back, I chose to go to a different area that was more internal, and one where I didn't have to work long hours. I could still do a good job, but not have to be working around the clock. And my boss in this new job was also very forward thinking. And he said to me, why don't you work from home a couple of days a week? Because that'll help you balance work and family life. Now, this was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, there weren't really hybrid arrangements in a professional setting. And I was so fortunate that he was so accommodating. And so I worked from home a couple of days a week. And that was just a wonderful way to balance work and family life and still progress in my career.
Wow, I am struck by how forward-thinking your manager was back then. Can you describe how you think the workplace has evolved in terms of gender equality, and what, if any, improvements you still feel we need to make?
I would say that early on, again, back in corporate credit, corporate banking, at the entry level of those, and we were professionals, we all had high levels of education. It was pretty neutral, male, female, it was pretty balanced. But many women were also facing challenges like the ones I faced, and they opted out. So what happened was, as people progressed through their careers, the pool of talent available became much more imbalanced gender-wise, much more male-dominated, and so the more senior levels were actually a lot more men. And actually, the other factor in that was that the senior leaders at the bank at the time tended to be men who had stay-at-home wives. That was just a fact of life for them. And they didn't really understand the challenges. And that also made it harder for women to stay in the workforce. So we had a lot less balance in the senior levels. I would say today that's changed a lot. You've got, whether it's a male or female boss, they understand work-family balance. If it's a man, he probably got a wife who has a career. And so there's a lot more accommodation, and that allows women to stay in the workforce and also progress. So that has been very positive. I would say we're not really there yet, particularly if you look at very senior levels. In the investment industry, it's quite male-dominated. On corporate boards, you don't really have full gender equality yet. But I'd say it's coming. I think the intentions are good and we're going to get there, but we still have a ways to go.
I agree with you. And I certainly, through the stories that you've shared, see how things have come a long way, yet we're not quite there yet. Can you share a particularly rewarding moment in your career when you felt proud of your achievements and the impact that you've made as a woman in a leadership position in the investment industry?
I think one of the more recent events actually that I was very pleased with was when I was appointed president at Canso. For two reasons. One, I felt very recognized by Canso for my contribution, and I really appreciated that. And more importantly though, I was very happy to be a role model for women who are earlier in their careers, who could look and say, hey, this is possible. I too could be a leader in the financial sector, in the investment industry. And so that would be one of the highlights, I would say, of my career.
You are an inspiration, Heather, certainly for myself and all of the women at Canso. What do you enjoy most about working at Canso?
Without a doubt, it's the culture. The Canso really has a very fun family culture. We are really more like a big extended family. We really like working with each other. We know each other's families. We support each other through thick and thin. Everybody's going to have some sort of adversity in their life. I know, when I lost my dad, I had great support from people at Canso. And I think there's times we come in and we have to work really hard, but at the same time, we still always find time to have some fun, to share some jokes, to just support each other. So we're very supportive, and we just enjoy each other's company. And so it's a great place to come to work.
And how does Canso support women? I mean, clearly it does, with so much of our management team being women and your recent appointment. So describe for us how Canso specifically supports women.
I've always felt very supported as a woman at Canso. My progression in my career, my advancement in levels, my pay increases were all based on my contribution. It's very much contribution based. Doesn't matter what your gender is. That's for me. That's for all women at Canso. It's very much, what are you doing? How are you contributing? How are you progressing? And the other thing I think is that we've always been very good at supporting families. So, and that comes right from the top. Our leader, John Carswell, he is very supportive of families. If you have a sick child, sick parent, you need to take some time, you need to go to appointments. It's expected that you're going to do that. You don't have to apologize, you don't have to explain. And people know that they give back, so that it's not like they don't do their work because they're taking this time. They find a way to get the job done, but at the same time, they're not so stressed because they're able to actually deal with life's challenges along the way. And there's a lot of support, family. If you want to go to a child's play, a sporting event, in fact, for that, you're very much encouraged. You'd be asked, why are you not going to see your child in a relay race or whatever it is? Because those years are precious and few, and we just expect that you're going to go, take the time, and you'll figure it out, you'll make it up. Now, today, we are encouraging more things. We've got women in leadership events. We're starting a mentorship program. And there's always been informal mentorship at Canso. So there's women know that they can come and they can talk to me. They can talk to the other female leaders. And so, but we're putting in a more formal program for people, because I think that also helps women be supported in the company.
Thank you, Heather. And lastly, what advice would you give to a woman who's beginning her career today?
I would say believe in yourself. It's really important that you believe that you can contribute, because you can. And I would say it's important to work hard and find people who are going to be supportive, look for mentors, and also be a mentor to other people. Support those people around you. Don't be afraid to speak up. You have a voice, and it's okay to use it. And in a respectful way, of course, but it's important that you speak up and you feel confident to be able to contribute in group meetings and larger meetings, where sometimes it might feel a little bit different. It might feel challenged because there's a lot of people talking loudly or talking over each other, but you can find a way to speak in those circumstances. And I would say, make sure that you're always working on developing your skills. We're never too old to continue to learn things, so that's really important. And remember, in the end of the day, success comes from being competent, from being confident, and from perseverance.